Guam's Lieutenant Governor, Dr. Mike Cruz, walking the dirt pathways of Midderlam, the capital of Laghman Province, Afghanistan. Laghman Province is in eastern Afghanistan, not far from the northern tribal areas of Pakistan, where Taliban and al-Qaeda militants take refuge between their terrorist raids into Afghanistan. Just a few months ago, here in Laghman Province, on September 2nd, a suicide bombing killed 23 people. Guam's Lieutenant Governor is the only battalion surgeon for the entire province.
Well, we're in the middle of a combat zone, and so my day is always what you would expect in a combat zone. But typically, as the battalion surgeon, I am the only U.S. military physician for the whole Laghman Province, or the province that we're currently in. And so our days are filled with seeing injuries, if we get any, local nationals, and also going out on patrols with my battalion aid station.
The Lieutenant Governor is attached to the 1st Squadron of the 221st Cavalry Unit. It's an armored reconnaissance squadron of the Nevada National Guard. Cruz spoke with Sergeant Danielle Rhodes of the 5th Mobile Public Affairs Detachment, who also took these pictures for PNC News.
I feel the mandible being very big, but he had a lot of nodularity everywhere. I mean, you could feel.
As the only U.S. military physician in the province, Cruz provides medical care not only to wounded U.S. soldiers, but to local Afghans as well.
Fortunately, we've not had a lot of wounded that we've treated. Unfortunately, the ones that we have seen. We've seen just last week one of the local Afghan National Army soldiers that was brought in after an attack. Unfortunately, his team had lost one of theirs. We have seen some of our soldiers that have been, one recently that was killed by a IED, and mostly what we're seeing is some of the soldiers coming in after an IED attack with concussions, head injuries, and lower extremity injuries from the force of the blast on the floor of the MRAP.
On the job, he is always armed. Even when treating patients, he has a pistol strapped over his shoulder.
Unfortunately, there's really not much we can do for him here.
The Lieutenant Governor's tour is up in January, but he can't say just when he'll be back home.
I can't say exactly when I'm going to be coming home. Of course, I'm looking forward to coming home. I mean, nobody wants to be away from home, especially during the holidays. I'm looking forward to seeing my wife Jennifer and my children and my family, and certainly the people of Guam.
There are, of course, others serving Guam Guardsmen in Afghanistan now, and Cruz reports they are doing well.
But I'll tell you, nothing makes me more prouder than to be able to run into some of our Guam sons and daughters that are currently serving in Operation Enduring Freedom out here in Afghanistan. And even more prouder when I hear from our command here at the 1st of 221 Cav that we have a real great bunch of soldiers, that the Guam platoon, the Guam Guard platoon that's currently also deployed with this particular unit, although they are much further away.
But why is our sitting Lieutenant Governor half a world away, serving not his first, but his 4th tour, dating back to Desert Storm, 2 decades of service? It is, he says, the call of duty.
Good. Does that hurt? I took an oath to defend the Constitution and to fight for our country when asked to. That was 22 years ago, and that oath still applies, regardless of my rank and regardless of the stature I have, even in the civilian world. And although I know that there were some criticisms of why I've decided to deploy, just because one reaches certain levels of society doesn't mean that at some point we don't have to pay the price, and there's a huge price to pay for freedom. And I'm willing to do that, just like our people of Guam did back in World War II during the Pacific Theater, and just like many sons and daughters of Guam have done through the ages and have done well for our country. We are as patriotic and American as there is.
Kevin Kerrigan, PNC News.